By now you've all heard of Lucy Letby, the British nurse who's just been charged with killing 7 infants and attempting to kill at least 6 others. The killings took place at Countess of Chester Hospital between 2015 and 2016. It was found that Letby used lethal air injections on at least 12 of the victims, which according to prosecutor Nick Johnson was one of her very favorite ways of killing. But at this point, most of you are probably just asking why. So let's get into it. So first we're going to go over the prosecutor's suggestions for motives, and then I'm going to give my own take. So the first suggested motive is that Lucy liked to play God. Killing the babies gave her a sense of power and control. She knew what was going to happen, she liked predicting things and controlling things, and being in the know while others were in the dark. The second suggested motive is that Lucy was getting a sadistic high out of watching the despair and the grief in the room. We know that she would often search Facebook for the families of her victims, and typically search for a number of them within minutes of each other. She would look them up on the anniversaries of the babies' deaths along with Christmas Day, as if she were hunting for grief like someone with a compulsion or an addiction to it. This theory of motive was my initial intuitive sense of what was likely going on here. The third suggested motive is that Lucy wanted the attention of an anonymous doctor. According to prosecutors, Lucy was having a secret affair with a married doctor who worked at the same hospital. Texts shown to the court revealed the pair messaged regularly, swapping heart emojis, and met up several times outside of work, including a day trip to London. And the nature of their relationship was significant. He was one of the doctors who would be called when babies suddenly deteriorated. She harmed them to get his personal attention. Which brings us to motive number 4, envy. In one of the notes Lucy wrote, found by police, she said she had an overwhelming fear. Quote, "I'll never have children or marry. I will never know what it's like to have a family." Despair. But the strongest evidence prosecutors had for motive, and the closest thing they had to a confession, came in the form of Post-it notes, handwritten by Lucy and found in her bag after she was arrested in 2018. In one she wrote, "I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them. And I am evil. I did this." The notes, Lucy said, were written in anguish, after being suspended from work pending an investigation of the unusual deaths. She further pointed out the notes also contained her proclamations of innocence. So here's my take. According to those who knew her, Lucy's entire life centered around the hospital, with the odd exception of going out to bars, restaurants, and sometimes taking a salsa class. People who knew Lucy described her personality as beige, meaning unremarkable, a wallflower, someone who didn't stand out from the crowd. And isn't that typical of so many serial killers? It's clear to me, like so many serial killers, she had at least 2 distinct parts of herself. One who was the beige wallflower, who found herself to be not good enough to care for the babies she worked with, not good enough to be married to the already married doctor, and the other who felt all-powerful, one who was more clever than the rest, who outsmarted the lesser-thans, and who took sadistic pleasure in what she had done, obsessively reliving the thrills of her kills. By checking up on the lives she literally destroyed over and over again. And this part of her personality was in fact quite evil.